I'm currently a pediatric otolaryngologist, which is an ears, nose, and throat doctor. I'm in private practice at St. John's Mercy Hospital in Creve Coeur. For the last 10 years, I was down at St. Louis Children's Hospital and employed at Washington University, so I was an academic physician. And in fact, I spent nearly 23 years there. I went to medical school at Washington University. I did 6 years of ears, nose, and throat residency training. I then went to Boston for 2 years and did a fellowship where I specialized in pediatric ears, nose, and throat, and stayed on staff at Harvard for an extra year, and then came back here in 1996 and was employed by Washington University and enjoyed my time at St. Louis Children's Hospital, but have just started a new venture where I've gone into private practice with a single specialty group of 3 at St. John's Hospital. I'm quite busy professionally, but I think probably my greatest benefit to the community would be the fact that we do see patients regardless of their ability to pay. So we certainly have a number of privately insured patients, and that would be the majority, but we also see patients on public assistance. In the state of Missouri, maybe 30 to 40% of children are on Medicaid, and they need services, and it's not necessarily always easy to receive those services, particularly in the private medical community. But we've felt it an obligation to continue to do that. Certainly the bulk of those patients would go to the academic centers, but in private practice we feel that it's necessary to see them on a continued basis. I also volunteer to go on medical missions to Honduras, and I'll be going on my 3rd trip this coming March. And we go down to a capital of a state in Honduras, which is impoverished, and we're sponsored by a Catholic Medical Association. And we see patients and operate for a period of 1 week and can usually accomplish 50 to 60 surgeries during that time. And I do that on an every other year basis. Well, I think I was very fortunate because I decided at the age of 5 that I wanted to be a physician. And that's not necessarily because I knew much about medicine, but really I had a grandfather who was a general surgeon here in St. Louis. His name was Jim Forsen also. And he was just a wonderful influence. Loved what he did, and clearly was loved by many others. So I think it was easy at a young age for me to say, whatever he does, I think I'll do the same thing, and hope to be as successful as he was. And then my parents, who were not in medicine, were very nurturing. We had a very close family, and they really respected education, so it was easy for them to reinforce my decision to want to go into medicine. I started in the Parkway system in 1971 at Mason Ridge. Actually, my current wife attended Mason Ridge at the same time. I didn't know her then, met her many years later, but it's a nice bond that we both went to the same elementary school. And then I went to Parkway East Junior High School for 3 years, soon after that school had opened, and it was a wonderful experience. As testimony to that is we still have junior high reunions. So every 5 or 10 years we get back together with our junior high class. So we really had a wonderful time there. And then I transferred from there to Parkway West Senior High School. I'm sure I'm biased, but I think I really attended school there during a golden era. That's when Al Burr was principal, and he really had a wonderful high school there, and we had a great atmosphere. We all respected him not just as an authority figure, but the fact that he was an accomplished teacher and a good athlete, and the fact that he knew every single name of every pupil in a school with nearly 2,000 students was amazing. I had terrific teachers there. I think it's fair to mention some of their names. Lane Page in English was wonderful, and also a fantastic athlete and coach himself. Roland Klein in history. Bob Buss in mathematics, Bill Myers in history also. These were just great teachers, and after I finished at Parkway I went to Princeton and didn't know a soul when I went there, but and certainly had some degree of trepidation to go to a school where I knew nobody and fairly far from home. But I really, as time went on, became apparent that I was well educated and well trained and had some degree of success there also. So I really thank them so much for what they provided me. Well, my greatest accomplishment, I guess, would be my family. And this is a photo actually from 2 years ago. But this is my lovely wife Janice, who, as I said earlier, was also a Parkway attendee, at least in her earlier years, and she and I went to the same elementary school. This is my youngest son, John. He's now 4 years old, and he attends Parkway. This is my second son, Will, and he is now 6. And this is my oldest, Libby, and she's 8. If students in Parkway at this time would be interested in medicine, I think it's very nice if you can early on make that decision. That's what I did. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it's nice if you can be focused early on, but it's important to pay attention to your studies. I think you want to do well academically, but also I think it's nice to demonstrate not just to colleges, but particularly medical schools, that you have some interest in your community and to do something outside the classroom. It's a very competitive environment, and there are many students who do well scholastically, but I think that you want to demonstrate that you really have some interest outside of academics, whether it be some sort of volunteering in a hospital or some sort of local cause. It's nice to show that you really do care, that you have an interest in people, because when it comes down to it, medicine is taking care of other individuals. And so if you can find another outlet outside of the classroom, I think that makes you a more attractive candidate, but it's also enriching for yourself, and it's simply the best thing to do.